Good morning, welcome back. Another beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky, but it's going to be a hot one again. It's
great for solar, not great for working.
Yeah, 35 degrees C, which is 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to be cracking on with the pointing. I've got a little bit left to do at the bottom of that door, if you remember from yesterday, and that'll be me today out there because it's going to be too hot to have the sun on my back. Yeah. Also got things like cleaning and washing to do.
Live things,
shopping. So not very exciting day for me today, but hey.
Yeah, I'm going to get that boxing in finished in the ground floor WC, so Sharon can then crack on with the pointing. We're getting closer with it. Depending how that goes for time, because there's a lot of fiddly bits to make, and you saw the fiddle from yesterday, well it's just as fiddly today. Depending how that goes for time, I'm going to be starting on the lighting in the hayloft lounge. So, nothing more to say really.
No, let's crack on.
Sitting on the floor in the loo. Right, so the first thing I want to do is put some strips on the back of here, because it's tongue and groove, just to hold them square and flat. One on that side, one on this side, and then I'm going to put some braces across, cut at 90 degrees, which will give me a perfect right angle for my top to sit on, because it's going to be a bit fiddly getting this in the right place and getting the top in the right place. So if I make a little box, I'm going to screw the braces to the back of here, and then I'm going to glue those to the side wall here. The reason I'm going to screw them is if I ever need to remove them in the future, I can just pop the screws out and lift it away. Makes sense that, especially after I had a leak upstairs, after a year of plumbing being installed. So you just never know, so it's better to be on the safe side. So first of all, I'm going to cut two bits to go at the ends here to hold this together and then fix it in place. Right, so what I've done, I've cut these at a slight angle, because to match that angle there, so that sits perfect now. I've actually just dropped one in there now. I'm going to hold the wood exactly where I want it and then screw through from the front. But I've forgotten my screwdriver and my screws, so I'll go and get them now. Armed with screws and a screwdriver. I'm only putting small screws in. I'm not a big fan of putting screws in wood that you can see, but we've got no choice in this if we want to be able to remove it. Right, okay, so that's pretty perfect there where I want it. Now here's where I should have got the brad hole, which I've forgotten. Not used to having it, that's the problem. Right. Right, I'll go and get it. Right, so another kilometre walked. So this is the hole that Brian, a subscriber, kindly made for me. Absolutely beautiful thing. I forget that I've got it because I've not had one for so long. So I'm going to use this to start my hole off. There we go. Try again. Beautiful. Now the bottom one, the same. I'll put another one down here. Perfect. Right, same on the other side. So next on my list, I'm going to cut 3 horizontals to go across the top for the top face to sit on. I'm going to glue and nail those through to the front, because if I screw the top on, I can lift the top off, then I can unscrew this one if I need to get it apart, and that should pull away. He says in theory. Right, so I'll cut them. What I'm going to do, my top's going to be 200mm wide. The thickness of my board is 21, so I'm going to cut them at 200 minus 21, which is 179. So I'll go and do those. Right, so I've got my 3 bits of wood. They're all exactly the same length. Again, when you're cutting, it's important that your cuts are accurate if you're doing stuff like this. So all I'm going to do is put a blob of glue on the end of each one, hold it in place, and fire a nail in it. The glue will come out. Put him where we want him, which is about there, lovely. And then one in. Super. Right, I'll get the other 2 in. So this is where the fun really starts. I've cut the back one. I'll show you that closer in a minute. But both ends are angled, so I had to cut one and then measure across and then cut the other end, which worked out quite nicely. I'll bring the camera in. You can see the joints, they're pretty tight. But if you remember with this one, when I fitted this wood, I fitted it early because it had already started to bow. And you can tell on the joint running off a little bit. So I think I'm going to cut the angle on the second one. Obviously I can use this one as a template for my next one, because the inside, the nearest widths are perfect. But I'm going to make the angle a little bit less. So, same again, I cut him just like I cut the ceiling on the table saw to the angle, 10 degrees that is. I'll do this one a little bit less. So I'll go and cut that now. Just before I do that, I'm going to measure where I want my hole for that valve to come through, because I'm going to have to break the valve, not break it literally, undo it to get this second board on. So I'll take some measurements of that now, and then I'll split the joint. Right, I've got the second one cut. I was able to, because I split this, I was able to push it down out of the way. So now, if I can get it out, I just need to drill a hole in this end for that pipe to come back up through when it's in. Remember, I measured it before I split it, so I knew exactly where I wanted it to be. So that is the final job before fixing them in place. So let's do it.
Well, it's done. It's not perfect, but I've had to match it in with the existing render here because there's going to be a hell of a job to take that off, and we just don't have the time at the moment to take it off and point the whole wall. But it's not looking bad. The main thing is there are no holes. It's going to be wind tight and water tight for the winter. So yeah, job well done.
Right, so I've drilled my hole right on the tongue. Let's see if it fits. It's a bit of a Chinese puzzle getting these in and out, to be honest. Oh. Well, look at that. Absolutely spiffing, and I can still turn it on and off. Wonderful. I need to wait for those braces I put across the top to set and dry before, because these boards are a bit warped. Okie dokie, so that's in. Very nice too. We're not sure about the front yet. I had to leave the groove on it to get the width, so we're gonna live with it, and then if if it bugs us, we'll put a piece of trim over it. But for now, all I've got to do is pop 3 screws probably in the front and reconnect the loo fill for where the tap comes through my new hole. So typically the wood split when I tried to screw it. I should have drilled it first, should have piloted it, but I put a piece of trim on it. So it's done. That's done, ceiling's done. This wall can be done at any time because the pointing will just be coming up to that big piece of timber in the corner. So I can hand it over to Sharon now. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to crack on with the pointing of these beautiful stones.
Well, that's it for today. Thank goodness it has been really warm. We're not used to it now. We've had a few cool days.
It's not relenting, is it?
Yeah, wow. Far too hot for working outside, but I managed to get the bottom of the door finished, which is brilliant, as I say.
Yes, it looks great.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it is now at least weather tight, so I'm happy about that. Means I can now move on to the pointing in the downstairs loo now that Andy's finished the shelf.
Yes, thankfully, what a job. I'm so glad it's done. Even the ceiling and all 1,000 different angles, 1,000 different cuts.
It's not easy because none of the walls are straight, and yeah, which you've done well. You've done well.
It makes your head want to pop. So that's done. We've just been in town. We just had a menu the other day. Lovely it was too.
Needed it. Was starving.
And we've actually picked up the nails as well for to get the horse. Well, we've got a horse, the stable for Don Quixote and Goatee to get the roof on there. But it's unlikely we're going to be doing that for a couple of days as well, I think,
I think the rest of the week is forecast to be quite hot.
High 30s, around 100 Fahrenheit for the next sort of few days. It won't last forever, it always breaks in September.
Yeah, another week or so it'll be chilly at night and we'll be having our fleeces on.
We'll be moaning about the cold and lighting the fire and
There's no pleasing us, is there? No.
So I'm probably going to carry on in the hayloft apartment with the wiring tomorrow. Yeah, I would say that's probably 90%.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
So we hope you've enjoyed today's video. I hope you're not as frustrated as I was with it. And thank you so much for watching. Thanks to all the subscribers, and thanks for the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Thanks to all the people that have supported us. We couldn't do it without you. It's very, very much appreciated.
Absolutely.
But we'll be back tomorrow with some more.
Yeah, see you tomorrow, folks.